Undeniably the most famous part of Torres del Paine is the W track, a 4 to 5 days hiking trail that takes you deep into the heart of the national park and allows you to see some of its most beautiful features. The W track has become so popular with tourists that the camps and refugios along the way are completely booked out months in advance. What some people don't realize, however, is that you don't need to do the entire trail to see its most iconic sites. In fact, almost all of the W track can be visited as simple day hikes. You just have to be ready to hike a lot. We were unable to secure accommodation on the W track, but that was not going to stop us from seeing what it has to offer. The hike to French Valley represents the middle part of the W track and begins at the Paine Grande camping site. To get to it, you will have to board the catamaran at Pudeto and cross Lake Pejo. It's going to be a long day, so I recommend taking the earliest boat possible. At the time of our visit, this was at 9 AM. Arrive well in advance as you can only buy tickets aboard. At $35 per person one way, the ticket is quite overpriced in my opinion, but there really aren't many other options. Your ticket will be checked upon disembarking, so don't think you can just sneak in and out unnoticed. Instead, I suggest buying the ticket early on to avoid standing in a long queue at the end of the ride. It is now 5 minutes to 10. We disembarked the boat, and the next one, or actually the last one back, is at 6:35, which gives us roughly 8 hours to complete the hike. Now I don't expect us to be able to complete all of it, all the way to the Britannica lookout, because that's like 5 hours hiking and another 5 back. Our plan is to get to camping Italiano and from there to the French Valley lookout, which should hopefully be beautiful. The weather is perfect for a hike. A little bit of clouds, a little bit of sun, occasional rain, a little bit windy, a little bit chilly, just the perfect Patagonian weather. Now, today is not going to be about landscape photography in the way that I normally do it. In fact, I don't even have my tripod with me. Shocker, I know, but I figured it's an 18-kilometer hike and every gram, every ounce really starts to count when you're hiking for that long. I actually did a hike to Fitzroy in El Chalten, carrying everything, and man, did my back hurt after that one. So I decided to cut some weight and also sort of give myself a challenge. Like, can I do landscape photography without tripod? Just, you know, hand holding, running and gunning, looking for compositions on the way. So it's more about enjoying the nature, enjoying the W track, or at least part of it, and also trying to make some images while we're at it. The first part of the hike is relatively flat. There is some minor elevation gain, but really nothing serious, which makes for a nice pleasant stroll with lots of amazing Patagonian scenery all around. Much like anywhere in Patagonia, there is no need to bring a ton of water. The water in the streams is fresh, tasty, and perfectly drinkable, so use that to your advantage to cut some more weight.
As you reach the shores of Lake Scottsburg, continue your way forward to enter a forest of dead trees. In foggy and cloudy conditions, it had an eerie and ghostly look to it, which I found quite enjoyable. But honestly, at this point, it is the Cuernos that start to steal the show. The two iconic cliffs of Torres del Paine National Park are now a constant presence. From here, the horns look completely different than from any other place in the park, and it's hard to not be amazed by their impressive grandeur. As you continue the hike, you will eventually reach camping Italiano, a very basic campground with minimum facilities. A lot of hikers actually use it to leave their backpacks here before ascending up the valley to viewpoints Francés and Britannico. The path gets much harder from here on, so it's a nice place for a quick break before continuing. Just be mindful of time. It took us almost exactly 3 hours to get here, so we couldn't afford ourselves a lot of rest. Make sure you have some energy left, because this last part of the trail leading up to Francés viewpoint is definitely a challenging one. The path gets much rougher and steeper, and while not as difficult as the ascent to Lago de los Tres or Lago Torres, it will definitely test your determination. But let me promise you, the reward will be absolutely worth it.
We finally made it to the Mirador Francés lookout. It took us exactly 4 hours from the Pine Grande station, but it was worth every minute of it, because look at that. The view of the Cuernos from here is quite friendly, unbeatable. They look completely different from the way you see them down below from the outside the W track, and it's really amazing. And we got some luck as well, because the sun is right now highlighting the rocks, creating this contrast, and they really look very nice. Took an image, super happy about it. Now we have another 4 hours to get back to the last catamaran, so we better get going.
We made it back to Paine Grande with exactly 8 hours on the timer, and enough time left to celebrate the successful trip while we waited for the boat to arrive. I really enjoyed the hike to the French Valley and can wholeheartedly recommend it. I also hope that you enjoyed watching this video, and if so, I would really appreciate you hitting the like button to help more people see it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, I'm always happy to have you here, and as always, let's meet again in the next one.